following is a Learfield presentation of the Washington State Sports Network.
He buries it. The Cougs have taken the lead. This place is going to pop off.
This is the Cougar Football Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
We're committed to being great here.
Lofts it, intercepted, and Washington State, Shaw Smith-Wade.
I'm proud to represent Washington State. I know the people that wear their Cougs all across this country, they're proud to be a part of Washington State.
Ward has blocking to the right, sprints to the 10, angles all the way, touchdown.
Why not be here? Why not cheer on this team? Why not see this environment and make it something special?
Spins out of a tackle, has Green 20-yard line to the 15, near sideline, Watson, touchdown.
What an opportunity to show who we are as Cougs.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. Life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank. Member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zappos, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. Now, live from Zappos, alongside Cougar head coach Jake Dickert, here's the voice of the Cougs, Matt Chazanow.
All right, we are live from Zappos with the Cougar Football Hour. Jam-packed venue here once again. I thought we might be outside.
This is great. I think it's just the bye week excitement. Everyone got rested and recharged, and they're ready to get back with Zappos and have a beer again with the Cougs. So it feels good to be back.
Exactly. I'm Deis, filling in for Matt Chazanow this week, alongside the head coach of the Cougs, Jake Dickert. And Coach, the bye week, you got to think, actually kind of hit at a nice time, right? You're feeling good after that win over Oregon State. You're 4-0. Your team moves up in the polls even though you didn't play. How does it feel, like just kind of letting that all soak in this past week?
Well, I think it's one of those things as a coach and a competitor, sometimes when you feel like you're playing well, you just want to keep rolling. So, but it is an earlier bye week than we've had the last couple of years. So what we wanted to do early on was really stay on track and then give our guys what we call a little bit of mental recovery. You know, because I think when you're competing your hardest and you're giving your best day in and day out, you do need a little bit of a break and a pause from it. So we took the weekend, we got rested and recharged, and we had one heck of amazing week of preparation for UCLA. But it still goes back to an amazing night a couple Saturdays ago against Oregon State, and our guys were gutsy. They competed, and we came away with a big win. And Cougs everywhere, I'm telling you, we felt you in that game, and it was fun to rush the field again. It was a great experience.
No doubt. And you knew, even though you got off to that great start against Oregon State, you knew that's a good football team and they were going to make a game of it, and they certainly did, and it caused some tense moments late. Let's just
You were tense, is that what you're saying?
Were you not?
Yeah.
Don't lie.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, just going down to that last onside kick too, and what a weird play. That was a different onside than you're used to seeing.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we knew it was always going to be a 60-minute football game. And we came into that game very tested, and we felt like if we could get them on their heels, if we could start fast, if we could, kind of punch fast, which we did second play out. We hit Kyle Williams on the big post play to really set the tone for that game. And then really just maintained and kept that lead as it went going. But those onside kicks are very unique. The first one was your traditional kind of bouncer. We fielded that one really easy. And then the last one is what we call a watermelon kick. Okay, so there's no tee. The ball is set right on the grass, and they just kick it like a top. And the reason that that's so hard is because it keeps gaining ground to that 10-yard threshold, but it's not coming quickly, and they're bearing down on you, even though they can't touch you. And all the credit goes to Cooper Mathers. He went in there. He dug the ball out. He was like the fourth guy to the pile, and he came out victorious. And that's what it's like to be a Coug and get the win.
Yeah, that's a winning play for sure. Hey, you mentioned Kyle Williams. He had that early touchdown. He and Josh Kelly combined for something like 330 yards and 4 touchdowns between the two of them. You revamped your wide receiver room in the offseason, and those two guys not only bring experience, but just kind of that veteran savvy and speed on the outside.
Well, I think it's interesting when you're a wide receiver because I was a D3 one, and not a good one at that. But you got to wait your turn, and you don't control when you get your touches. So we've been working the inside a lot over the first 3 games, and we knew Oregon State's bracket coverage, right, double team in the slots, was going to allow for opportunities for Kyle and Josh. And I haven't been around for all the receiver performances, but that's got to be an all-time great Cougar performance by Josh Kelly and 2 one-handed catches. The Houdini act that he pulled, getting away from 3 beeves and scoring that thing, and the touchdown, like I said, to use a Chaz phrase, the lid popped off Geisa Field. I mean, it was just incredible to see. But those guys are playmakers. And what you consistently see over the first 4 games, we now have guys that can catch balls and make something happen with it. We're not just straining for every yard. And that's an exciting place to be, and Coach Arbuckle has really opened up the playbook, and Cam Ward has been nothing short of amazing.
When you watch that Josh Kelly replay of the little pirouette that he did, it's almost comical because it takes out 3 beeves who all crash into each other, and it turns out that way. All right, you knew Oregon State was going to present some problems to your defense, especially their running game is so powerful. It always has been since Jonathan Smith kind of took over there. But you've got to be proud of the way the guys stepped up and made plays when they needed to. You know, the sack by Jaden, the pick by Sam, and just making plays when their backs were against the wall.
I think that's the right way to put it. We made just enough plays. You know, and the thing I throw in there, we did get the early interception, but we also got 2 fourth-down stops that allowed us to really get the ball in positive territory and get some momentum really rolling, you know, for the team and some short fields for the offense. So I thought it was complimentary football. We knew their offensive line is one of the best in the country, and it proved out that way. And I thought there was times they leaned on us a little bit, and we needed to maybe adjust a little bit quicker to put our guys in some better spots to make plays, but it was just enough. We still got to work on finishing in those moments. I think we had them doing something that isn't their strength, and we got to go out there and slam the door and just enough. And it was a great, gutty team win a couple Saturdays ago.
All right, I was instructed by a member of our audience here that her question has been read first on the show every week, and we don't want to mess with past success, right? I don't need things to be blamed on me if things go bad this week. So the question is, Coach, we saw you in preseason buying pizza for the band, and after the last W, you directing the fight song. There's some great video and pictures of you doing that. So what would you like to say about how the band is contributing to the program and the atmosphere?
Well, let's start with Coach Dickert's history with band. I don't know if everyone knows. I played the trombone in high school.
My wife said you look like you knew what you were doing, like conducting.
Well, and shout out to Mr. Gretzinger, my high school band instructor. He'd be really proud of me. He really would. You know, the history is like, when we were growing up, my dad said that when we were in the band and we were on the football team, in the homecoming parade, we had to march in the band. He's like, it was just as important to be a member of the band as it was the football team, and I was the starting quarterback.
And so in pads and everything?
No, not in pads, but like before, like 3 o'clock after school. So I do appreciate what they do, and I always equate it to they're just as serious about their craft and what they're doing as we are in football. And I just, came from the office, and they're practicing their halftime for homecoming, all those things. So just really appreciative of the energy and environment that they create is unbelievable, and just a real huge shout out to our WSU band.
Well, and I know I speak for all the fans here and everywhere. They love seeing your passion for the team after a win like that with the band. All right, we're going to take our first time out. We'll have much more to talk about with Coach, including a big game coming up this Saturday down in Pasadena. This is Washington State football from Learfield.
Saturdays are made for football, and when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Want to earn some extra money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2023 to March 2024. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneSnow.com.
Do you ever pay attention to overhead power lines? If you're like most people, you don't, but you should, especially when you're working up on a roof or carrying a ladder outdoors. Kids who climb trees and fly kites and adults with drones need to watch out for power lines too. And on the off chance that you find a downed power line, stay at least 10 feet away and quickly call 911 and Avista. Always pay attention to power lines. It's your best line of defense. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
You're listening to Cougar Football on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Whenever I see somebody purchasing something with their WSU card, I always like to give them a Go Cougs. It brings me back to when I was in Pullman.
From the rolling hills of the Palouse to keys jingling before every kickoff, there's something special about being a Coug. That's why BECU created the WSU credit and debit cards. It's just one more way to show pride for a place we all call home. Grab your WSU card today. BECU, power in people. Membership required. Restrictions apply. Call 800-233-2328 for details about credit costs and terms. Federally insured by NCUA. Member compensated for participation.
As a locally owned family business, tradition is the core of Chipman & Taylor Chevrolet in Pullman. We know that every family has traditions, and when it comes to automotive, we want your traditions to start with us, the family at Chipman & Taylor Chevrolet. We are a different type of dealership, and we take pride in continuing what we were taught many years ago, to be honest, never pressure, and to treat our customers like our own family. It's just that simple at Chipman & Taylor Chevrolet in Pullman.
This is the Cougar Football Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Runs into a massive Crimson, does not get the yard. It's a goal line stand.
Here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
All right, welcome back live at Zeppo's in Pullman. Derek Deis alongside head coach Jake Dickert. Hey, we're brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, made to chill. Visit your local retailer and look for the Coors Light Coug display QR code for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Cougs tackle the Dogs on November 25th. Promo starts September 19th, ends October 30th, so you got a few weeks left. Open to residents in Alaska, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. Must be 21 or older. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. All right, Coach, we were talking about, since you've been here, this is the first time the Cougs are going to be playing UCLA. It's just one of those weird quirks in the schedule. There was the COVID-shortened year. It didn't happen. So you've never been to the Rose Bowl. I'm assuming none of the players have actually been to the Rose Bowl for a game. But there are a lot of kids from Southern California that this game means a lot to them. Talk about that.
Well, I think that's the start of it, Derek. LA is just, it's different, and it's been really good to our program, and obviously California in general, and our kids that are from there get to go play in front of family and friends, and it's important, but it's also important to control, the excitement towards that. And I know there'll be tons of Cougs out there. I know all Cali Cougs out there. I can't wait for you to flood the stadium in the Rose Bowl, and there's a fine line between this iconic stadium on the West Coast. I think all Cougs know what it means, and that means you've won the Pac-12 and you get to go to this Rose Bowl, and there's a lot of memories that are, we were just talking about some of them with those things, but as we go down there this time, it's an opponent stadium, and trying to win on the road in this league against this type of competition is going to be very challenging. So we got to focus on the things that drive us to be our best. There's a lot of noise out there and love that's jumping on the Coug bandwagon right now, and we just got to stay true to what helps us win games, and that's being our best and trusting that everyone's going to go out there and do their job.
When you think of a Chip Kelly team, because over the years he's had so many successful offenses, whether it's at New Hampshire or Oregon or now UCLA, you think of offense, but their defense is really, really good this year, only allowing 11 points a game. That's number 6 in the nation. And they got this dude, Laiatu Latu. He's a UW transfer, and he's a wrecking ball.
He's a problem.
Yeah.
He's a problem. And I know Coach Kelly is an innovator. I think he is. I think as you look at his offenses, they've really evolved over time. But their calling card is their front seven on defense. And it isn't just 15, Latu, that you're talking about, and he's a projected first-rounder in the top half of the draft. They're very physical, and they're very long. This is the longest, biggest team, I think, maybe I've faced in a while since we've been here. And, that crew is now on their second year of being in this type of scheme, and they're fast, they're aggressive, they're attacking. And I think they're doing it in a lot of different ways. So it'll start up front. And we went into the Oregon State game saying the same thing, and we proved it to be true that we've gotten a lot better at the offensive line. And Coach McGuire has done an amazing job of keeping Cam upright. So that'll be the key to our success. We do have to find ways to continually to effectively run the ball. We just can't let 15 get off the ball and rush the passer every play. So there'll be a magic to the run pass and being very efficient, and then finding ways, once again, to get the ball out of Cam's hands efficiently, yet take the ball down the field.
You mentioned, the big offensive line and how much they've improved under Coach McGuire. Talk a little bit about Lili Fa'amoe and Esapole. And those are two guys who maybe haven't played a ton of football.
Correct.
But I mean, they just pop when you watch them, right? They have all the attributes to be big-time tackles.
Well, let's frame the true narrative is those two have been playing offensive tackle 4 years together combined, like their whole life.
Yeah.
I'm not talking here, their whole life. So the ceiling is still really, really high. And they're mountain men, right? They're huge people. They've solidified our offensive line. And when you feel really good at that tackle position, I mean, you're out on the island 90% of the time in this league. Every once in a while, we'll give a chip. Every once in a while, we'll slide some protection your way. But you're taking the opponent's best one-on-one, and those two guys are still getting better and better and aren't even close to where they're going to end up. So the developmental ceiling is high, but we feel just so convicted to have two rocks at our offensive line that have just been aces so far this season.
All right, let's talk about UCLA's quarterback for a minute. Dante Moore is a true freshman. He's out of Detroit, I believe, and he's shown some big playability. I mean, his completion percentage is not super high. It's like 55%, but he's thrown for 8 touchdowns and a lot of long ones as well.
Yeah, I think very highly touted. I believe a 5-star prospect, and they have a lot of talented guys down there that are doing well. But when you're a freshman, I'm just really impressed by his poise and how much he's been a pocket passer. He hasn't been really scrambling around. He's going through his progression and his reads, and he's got a great arm. I mean, you can see why he was highly recruited. But they've been a little bit in and out at the quarterback position, and they've settled on Dante Moore, and I think that's going to allow their offense to really find their identity. But on the outside, they got big, long, wide receivers that can stretch you vertically. So we got to affect him in some way. What pressure that is on regular downs and third down, we kind of got to move and try to confuse him and see if we can get him to turn the ball over, because that'll be big and what I anticipate being a really tight football game.
Yeah, and when you talk about Chip Kelly, they're always going to have running backs who put up some numbers. They've got 2 guys that average almost 70 yards rushing a game. That's got to be a key as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's always we got to be better in our run defense, and I think that's the biggest thing that our defense has really come together this week to work on and finding ways to maybe get some more negative plays on base downs, and that is being a little bit more aggressive at times and finding ways just to pin our ears back and go get it. So you do that by stopping the run, so you can get yourselves in second and long and third down where R.J. Stone and Brennan Jackson and these guys can go pin their ears back and go rush. So there's a little magic to playing good team defense, and stopping the run is the first part of it.
All right, you mentioned R.J. Stone, so I guess I'll let the secret out now. He's going to be joining us live here on the program in just a little bit of time. And, Coach, I was asked, usually you only allow 1 segment for the player. We got to give RJ 2 because we know that guy has a lot to say.
Yeah, it's going to turn into the RJ Stone show, and that's good. RJ's got a lot of personality, but more importantly, he represents our program so well, and just really proud of what he's doing on and off the field, and it's going to be fun to get him up here. All
right, after the break, we're going to take some more questions from people online as well as here in the studio audience. You're listening to the Cougar Football Hour. This is Washington State football from Learfield.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through! Yeah.
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
If Pac-12 football runs deep in your veins, then Sirius XM Pac-12 radio is what you need to listen to. We're talking conference and team previews, plus hear live games, news, and analysis from experts like Jeff Schwartz, Yogi Roth, and Evan Moore. Go in-depth with your favorite team with coaches shows, championship specials, and more. Get inside Pac-12 football like nowhere else. Feed your fandom on the Sirius XM app. Stay up to date anywhere you go. Just download the app and start streaming.
Whoever said, good things come to those who wait, clearly never ordered in the McDonald's app. Just order ahead in the app, and you can pick up when you get here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Cougars fans, now you can win all season. On game day, get a 20-piece chicken McNuggets and 2 medium fries for just $10.99 when you order ahead on the app. Valid once per day through December 1st, 2023. At participating McDonald's, must opt into rewards.
This is former Coug Eric Coleman.
Goff intercepted. Touchdown coming into the end zone. Eric Coleman.
And you're listening to Cougar Football. Go Cougs.
Hey, Hey, Coug fans, can't decide what to do with your late night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Do you ever pay attention to overhead power lines? If you're like most people, you don't, but you should, especially when you're working up on a roof or carrying a ladder outdoors. Kids who climb trees and fly kites and adults with drones need to watch out for power lines too. And on the off chance that you find a downed power line, stay at least 10 feet away and quickly call 911 and Avista. Always pay attention to power lines. It's your best line of defense. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
This is the Cougar Football Hour.
Somersaults in. Football first touchdown.
U.S. Bank. Life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank. Member FDIC. Here's Matt Chazanow.
All right, welcome back to the Cougar Football Hour. Derek Deis here alongside Coach Dickert. We told you we'd take some questions. I'm going to start with a couple from Twitter, Coach, and I might have given you a sneak preview of this so you could think about it for a second. This is from Joyce on Twitter. What L.A. celeb showing up to the game would actually impress you?
Well, thank you, Joyce. That's a great question. I don't even know if I have a great answer for that. I'm a LeBron guy, so I would take LeBron showing up, and just these guys are big. I mean, I'm more of a Kobe, L.A. Laker guy, but LeBron, I have a lot of respect for greatness and what he's done, so it would be impressive if he was there.
Somebody better make sure they have some double XL Coug gear just in case.
Just in case.
We can go,
shout out LeBron. I'll see you there.
Hand it to the king for sure. All right, another one off of Twitter here. This one is from Brendan, who's a WSU super fan. If you had one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, superpower. I would probably go out on the limb and say I would try to stop time because my kids are growing up so fast, Derek.
I feel you
incredible. On that. And just what we do sometimes, it's hard to be away and miss some of these things. So if I hit that little pause button every once in a while and be invisible and kind of hang out behind the scenes a little bit and stop time because my daughter's already in 7th grade. I got a chance to watch her volleyball game on Tuesday right here in Pullman. So it was great, and they're growing up fast.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Here's another one from In the Studio on us. I'm sure you saw the graphic art of Benihana Ben Arbuckle. So from the stands, it looks like Coach Arbuckle has a really cool temperament and the trust of Cam Ward. What more can you tell us about your OC?
I think the temperament, that's an interesting way to put it, as a Benihana chef. But he's one of those guys I think is just very convicted in who he is. And he's just got a really strong vision of what he wants to be a part of and what he wants to do. That's always been one of his biggest calling cards and strengths as we went through this whole process. And I think a lot of people, they see the flash and a little bit of the flair, but they don't realize all the hard work that's put in behind the scenes. So he's just a small-town Texas kid that's wanting to prove himself every step of the way, that's very authentic to who he is and what he wants to become, and it's been a great partnership. There was an article put out about the synergy of OC and quarterback, and when you really just hang around Coach Arbuckle and Cam enough, you just see a lot of similarities, and you see why they work so well together. And when you challenge each other and you bring ideas and you really are a partnership, that's how you just kind of continue to evolve and really have great chemistry and make big things happen.
I talked to Nick Edwards earlier today for our pregame show, and he was talking the same thing. Like, he's learned so much from Coach Arbuckle just in the short time he's been here and just kind of, expanding his mind about aggressive offensive football.
And I think he's open to ideas. And I think that's what makes great learners really, really special. Not feeling like you have all the answers. You're open to seeing things a new way and a new idea. And that's why that room is so collaborative, right? Some Clay is in his experience, and Mark and Nick and Coach Whitworth. I mean, they all just put it together and come out with a great product. And I think Ben just has a great instinct of how to call a game, knowing when to take shots, knowing when to pull back. I think there's real magic in that, and I think he has it very naturally.
We've all loved seeing the creativity so far this season. All right, this is from Michael in University Communications. He actually introduced himself to you right before we came on the air. Said, Coach, you remind me a little bit of Dabo Swinney in your mannerisms, style, and genuine love for the program. Is there anyone out there that you try to emulate?
Ooh, that's another good one. Very, very deep question.
I know, right?
I just think I'm a byproduct, Derek, of a lot of people that I've been around. You know, my first 6 years in coaching, I was under 6 different defensive coordinators, and a lot of the stuff that we do is very Craig Bull, you know, from behind the scenes and the toughness that we try to create in our program. But yet, I only know one person to be, and that's myself. And if it relates to other people, so one person once called me Ted Lasso. I've never even seen that show. I don't know what that means. But I felt like it was a good thing in the moment. I don't know if you've watched that.
It's an incredible show.
But I think he's a motivator guy that's positive and likes to, I don't know, make jokes and do some things. So I don't know if I relate to that guy either as well, but I just try to be authentic to the way I think relates to our team and try to motivate them to be their best every day.
You mentioned Craig Bull, and he obviously had so much success at the FCS level and has now really been building it at Wyoming. Yeah. What makes him such a good coach and mentor for you?
Yeah. Also national champion at Nebraska, so he is a defensive coordinator. I just think there's a realness to him, but there's just a toughness. And it reminded just in my upbringing a little bit of like it was tough love in that program. And you were kind of forged in the fire, and if you made it, right, then you had success, and you always did. And it was just one of those things that you knew what he was thinking and feeling without really saying it. And, you know, that old, you know, I'm proud of you handshake was just something that was really important to him, and just old school values of how you build a team. And that's what I've always tried to, you know, bring to our teams as well.
All right, one more from in the building here. It says, last year we lost a few close games. So what are some of the reasons behind winning those close ones this year?
I think there's a bunch of different things. You know, you see it, you show it, and you try to create different things within practice to kind of execute it. So one thing we went out and did at the end of every practice, we do what we call focus finish. You know, so you could go through a 2-hour practice and you could be tired. Things could be going good or bad, however your day is going. You have to choose in that moment to finish that day. And it's just kind of an emphasis there. And we showed our guys, like, you know, doing things good and bad and competing. So I think we've just emphasized it that way. And sometimes just doing it once creates a little momentum. You know, we can do hard things. That's the way we've trained. We've worked for this. And then it just creates a real conviction that no matter what you're up against, this is our game. Let's go take it. And I think we got a bunch of great leaders like R.J. Stone and Brennan Jackson and Lincoln Victor and Connor Gomness and Cam Ward, Shaw Smith-Wade, that want to just go out and they crave that tough moment. And you can't shy away from it. And they're comfortable being uncomfortable. And when you practice that way and you think that way, that's when you can really have that success as a team, especially when everyone else gets real nervous, right? But that taste of victory is really sweet in those moments.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, we still got so much more to come here on the Cougar Football Hour. We'll talk more with Coach Dickert. We'll also be talking to R.J. Stone in a little bit. This is Washington State football from Learfield. Don't go away.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
SeatGeek's the ticketing app for fans like the sideline shot caller.
Come on, boys, pick up the pace!
SeatGeek got him a great deal on seats right near the action, so when he yells,
"What are you doing? Block him!"
he can be absolutely sure the players heard him. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when you can get live sports and TV for less with Fubo TV? Watch your teams, shows, news, and more on over 100 channels. Plus, on-demand entertainment, including full TV series. All on your TV, phone, and tablet. No cable or satellite dish required. There's no contract, no hidden fees, and you can cancel anytime. Try Fubo TV for free at FuboTV.com. That's FuboTV.com.
Cougar football lives here.
Up the middle, touchdown! 1 second left. Cougars on top.
On the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans, can't decide what to do with your late night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Look, I'm not going to tell you you have to have a Camus Rewards card when you come to Northern Quest. You don't. You don't have to earn points on every dollar you spend here or enjoy prize entries, dining discounts, pre-sale concert tickets, and so on. Heck, you don't even have to receive free cash money for doing what you already do here. After all, free country, right? Camus Rewards for all the ways you play.
Welcome back to the show. Time now to look ahead at this week's game with the Coors Light Opponent Preview. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
All right, I know we said opponent preview, but we're tossing the format out the window a little bit because we're joined now by Cougar edge rusher RJ Stone here on the Cougar Football Hour. RJ, thanks so much for being with us, man. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you guys for having me. I'm just excited to be here with all my Coug fans. So.
Yeah, no doubt. They're excited to have you here as well. The bye week came in a good time. You got to get out of town a little bit, shut the brain off from football for a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the bye week's great just because it gives you a little bit of a restart. You know, reset your feet, get to really breathe a little bit, and for all those guys that are banged up a little bit, get a little extra time to heal their body.
All right, you've been around the program for a while, so I feel like most people kind of know who you are. But maybe for the people who don't, obviously, you come from a pretty football pedigree. Your dad played in the NFL, but your sisters are awfully athletic too. Tell us about them.
Yeah, so I'm the youngest of 5. I have 4 older sisters, 3 of which were athletes. My second oldest was a cheerleader. She did competitive cheer and cheered at TCU. And then below her is she did track at Oregon. And then below her was volleyball at Oregon as well.
Yeah, pretty good to have all those D1 athletes in the family, no doubt about it. And confirm or deny for me here, RJ, one of your sisters' boyfriend is a pretty popular quarterback in the NFL. Is this true?
Yeah, she's dating Jordan Love. So I know him, great guy, and I'm really looking forward to all his success this year.
And I think it's really interesting that your head coach grew up a Packer fan in Wisconsin, and your sister's boyfriend is the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. It's just kind of a wild coincidence.
Small world. It all leads back to Wisconsin somehow.
No, that's pretty great. Hey, let's talk about you and one of your besties on the team, and Brennan Jackson. And you guys are obviously those kind of bookend defensive ends that have been here for quite some time. You're roommates, right? I feel like last year it's kind of worked the opposite way. Last year, you were always around the quarterback, and he was always the one getting the sacks, right? And this year, it's kind of working the opposite, where you've been reaping the benefits a little more. Is that just karma?
I think it's really just, I don't want to say it's karma, a little bit of luck on my side. And no, Brennan's great, man. I've enjoyed these past 6 years with him, and I've been here for a while, guys. But it's been great. I think the relationship that we've built over the years and just how we've both grown in our own different leadership categories to really benefit this team and have our own personal success, too, has been great.
Yeah, and just talk about the way, I guess, the defense has come together, because it's not just you guys, obviously. It's Augusta who's really stepped up, and Nusi Milani. You got Sam and Jaden, and Devin gets thrown into the mix, right? And it just seems like it's really come together nicely for you guys, at least through the first 4 games here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have a lot of special talent on our team and a lot of great leadership. And I think when you pair that together, it's one of the reasons we've had our success. Just from top to bottom, you have Shaw really taking control of that secondary, and then you have D-Rich and KT, who are 2 veterans and really know what they're doing. It's just one big cohesive unit that all really mesh well together and understand how the other play.
All right, and so far, being 4-0, you're up to number 13 in the polls right now. This kind of has the makings of perhaps being a special season here at Wazoo. How fun has this been so far, and how big would it be for you to kind of go out with a big season?
Yeah, it's been fantastic, and I've really enjoyed the success that we've had so far this year. And then, this team is the reason I came back for my 6th year, and I had opportunities to leave, this and that, but there was something special about this program, this team, the program that Dickert's really been leading that drew me to come back, and now we're reaping the benefits of that happening, and I couldn't be happier for all the people involved.
And let's be honest, RJ, there are some teams in today's world of the transfer portal and NIL, like there were teams trying to poach you away from Washington State. What was the biggest factor in you deciding to stay?
Really just the brotherhood and the community that I've been a part of, that I've been, brought into. When I first got to Pullman, it was such a culture shock. I'm like, wow, like everything's closed on Sunday. There's nothing really going on. What's going on? And now, this community's really made me one of their own. I'm a Coug for life, and I've loved every minute of it.
All right, we promised you 2 segments with RJ. Let's take a break. We're back with more with the super senior here after this. This is Washington State football from Learfield.
Saturdays are made for football. And when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
SeatGeek's the ticketing app for fans like the sideline shot caller.
Come on, boys, pick up the pace.
SeatGeek got him a great deal on seats right near the action, so when he yells,
"What are you doing? Block him!"
he can be absolutely sure the players heard him. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Whenever I see somebody purchasing something with their WSU card, I always like to give them a go Cougs. It brings me back to when I was in Pullman.
From the rolling hills of the Palouse to keys jingling before every kickoff, there's something special about being a Coug. That's why BECU created the WSU credit and debit cards. It's just one more way to show pride for a place we all call home. Grab your WSU card today. BECU, power in people. Membership required. Restrictions apply. Call 800-233-2328 for details about credit costs and terms. Federally insured by NCUA. Member compensated for participation.
Cougar football lives here.
Up the middle, touchdown! 1 second left. Cougars on top.
On the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Today's Nutrition Report is brought to you by Wilbur Ellis. Did you know one of the most popular breakfast foods among student athletes is broccoli? That's right. The superfood keeps athletes sharp and focused throughout the day, optimizing their performance. To ensure nutrient-rich crops like broccoli thrive, our friends at Wilbur Ellis are revolutionizing crop nutrition through innovative approaches that enhance nutrient absorption, benefiting both the farmer and the athlete. Unleash the potential of your crops and performance. Visit WilburEllisAgribusiness.com today and chart your course for the winning ag experience.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when you can get live sports and TV for less with Fubo TV? Watch your teams, shows, news, and more on over 100 channels. Plus, on-demand entertainment, including full TV series. All on your TV, phone, and tablet. No cable or satellite dish required. There's no contract, no hidden fees, and you can cancel anytime. Try Fubo TV for free at FuboTV.com. That's FUBOTV.com.
This is the Cougar Football Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Runs into a massive Crimson, does not get the yard. It's a goal line stand.
Here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
All right, welcome back live at Zeppo's in Pullman. I'm Derek Deis filling in for Matt Chazanow as we continue to chat with RJ Stone. Hey, earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. All right, Coach Dickert told me earlier in the show you're actually a card player. You get the guys together and like to play a lot of cards?
Yeah, I love competing in any fashion, and that could be cards, I mean, it's a number of things. Who heads or tails? What's it going to be? Who can flick the coin closest to the wall? If there's a way to find a winner, I'm probably a part of it.
You're like on Vegas vacation for National Lampoons, all the different weird games at the tables. All right, let's talk about this matchup this week against UCLA, right? You're coming in 4-0. They're coming in 3-1 after that loss to Utah. But this is a pretty good team you're going up against with a real young but talented quarterback in Dante Moore.
Absolutely. I think they do things really well, and they have a great head coach, obviously, with Chip Kelly. And, this is going to be a great game for us. I think that's going to be a great opportunity to show, not only Coug Nation, but the rest of the world what kind of football Washington State is continuously able to play. And so we're really looking forward to it.
And even though they put up a bunch of rushing yards like a Wisconsin or an Oregon State, they're actually very different in the way that they attack as an offense, right? Because they have some big play receivers as well. So it's not like you can just put 8 in the box and try to knock them down that way. They've got some weapons on the outside as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you know Chip, he's going to try to make some explosion plays. He's going to try to get some mismatches and get the ball out to his receivers in space and, really utilize those guys on the outside. But, like we kind of talked about earlier, I really trust our guys on the outside, and they trust us to get home. So I'm looking forward to it.
You get to face off against the Cougar offense every day in practice, and Cam has obviously been doing some wonderful things for the offense this year. What is he like on a day-to-day basis, and does it shock you what he's been able to do so far this year?
I don't think it shocks me at all. I think everyone in our building and on our team knew what kind of player Cam is capable of being, and so this isn't really a shock to us at all. And really, we really pride ourselves defensively as giving our offense a great look. We want to be the best team they ever go against, and it's the same way vice versa. So as we go out there, like these week's practices have been like one of the more competitive ones we've had all season, and it's like just that want to compete, off that bye week, that want to get back into the rhythm, back in the flow, and you can really feel it from all the guys involved.
All right. As you guys continue to climb in the rankings, a little more of the spotlight gets shined on Washington State University. You're a guy that's looking to hopefully play in the NFL next year. And, any chance for exposure is good for you. I know NFL scouts know about you and Brennan and Shaw and Jaden and, all these guys as well. But just talk about kind of using these last 8 games and maybe 9 or 10 games as sort of that springboard for you to try to get to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best part about this season for myself specifically is, there's no more college ball after this. Like I get to leave everything out there with no regret and really know that I gave it my all, and I'm super thankful to be in this position and have this opportunity to come back as a Coug and finish it out with the people I call family now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think the Cougar fans can feel that you've really embraced that Cougar culture as well, right? And it's something that gets in your blood. I know I went to school here, right? I graduated a million years ago, but it really does, right? It gets in your blood, and it's just home now.
Absolutely. It's the reason I'm back here. It's kind of funny. Before I got to Washington State, I was like, well, I'm not going to go to Washington State, And then once I took my official here and really got to feel the environment and everyone involved in it, I was like, it was almost a no-brainer for me. It was like really weird. Like it was funny, but I wasn't even planning on committing here. And then we were talking about it one day, and Mike Leach was at my house on a home visit, and I was like, well, Coach, I'm coming. I'm showing up to Washington State. I'm going to be a Coug. And I was like, oh, wow, I just did that. And it just felt right, and I went with it. So
nice. Well, we're all glad you made the choice. RJ, thanks for being with us here on the show. Best of luck this weekend against UCLA and the rest of the way here in your senior season.
Thank you so much. Go Cougs.
All right, RJ Stone here on the Cougar Football Hour. We're back with more after this. This is Washington State football from Learfield.
When you love sports like I do, some people just don't get it. All the yelling, the face paint, the blind allegiance to some fictitious beaver. But you know who does get it? Epic Sports Bar. With their 30-foot HD TV, amazing game day menu, and live sports betting on their Turf Club sportsbook kiosk. So now I don't have to worry about scaring the cat every time my team scores. Sorry, Muffins. Good kitty. Epic Sports Bar. Only at Northern Quest.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
You're listening to Cougar Football on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
There is a local ranch just outside of Boise, Idaho, that has masterfully bred Japanese Wagyu cattle with American Angus cattle. Now this American-style Wagyu beef is available to you and your family. Rosars presents Snake River American-style Wagyu beef. Snake River Farms beef is famously found in many exclusive five-star steak restaurants. Snake River Farms, available at your local neighborhood Rosars.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football game against UCLA, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 85 critical scores of 90-plus points. Visit them at their Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
This is the Cougar Football Hour.
Somersaults in, football first touchdown.
U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. Here's Matt Chazanow.
All right, welcome back live to Zeppo's here for the Cougar Football Hour, and we've got Jake Dickert back in the hot seat. I'll use air quotes there for a minute. Hey, here in the audience today, we've got Dean Janikowski, and they've got a wonderful foundation.
Absolutely.
And with all his kicks he's been making, he's been raising a whole lot of money for his foundation as well, and it's one that's very close to him and his family's heart. You got to love it seeing your players use their powers for good.
Well, I think it was just he put it out on social media this week that he had an opportunity through the foundation to donate over $25,000 to cancer patients right here in the Palouse. It was just amazing. I think they deserve another round of applause.
No doubt. You know, and another foundation or organization that the Cougs have been supporting, obviously, is Helinski's Hope. And there's 160 schools, I believe, across the country that are participating in this and wearing green ribbons on their helmets to promote mental health. And we know here at WSU, obviously, how important this is for our student athletes.
Yeah, I think Helinski's Hope, and I got an opportunity to sit down with Kim, and it was over a year and a half ago, and they were on a mission as Helinski's Hope to go out and spread, awareness, obviously, through Tyler's story and just the importance of mental health, but more importantly, it around this central theme of breaking down the stigma of mental health and having, open and honest conversations with young people and providing them support. So we'll be wearing a green pin and a green ribbon logo on our helmet just to show that, we're a school that's on the forefront of providing support for our student athletes and just really proud of their mission and what they're doing all across the country.
And obviously, in years past, and probably when you were playing, there just wasn't, an importance raised in that aspect. And so talk about just how that has changed in the way that we look after our student athletes. I mean, really in the last 5 years especially.
Well, I just think the biggest thing is you got to have empathy. You got to understand that 18 to 23-year-old young people are under different challenges than we were, and the pressures of social media, and it's really good to be aware, but my number one job is to make sure that we provide support and we show it as a strength, right? It is a strength to want to get help because this is something that is really affecting young people all across the country, and it's very real. And I say this all the time. I said it this week. We're not just dealing with players, we're dealing with people. And people need support, they need to be encouraged, and they need to know there's an outlet out there. And that's something that we like to provide at Washington State, and we take it very seriously.
All right, our sports information director, Bill Stevens, and Bobby Allworth do a great job with the game notes every week. I found a nugget in here which I thought was pretty incredible, and I wanted to ask you about it. Cam Ward is one of 5 Power 5 QBs to start the first 4 games of a season with 1,300-plus pass yards, 13-plus touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Here are the other 4.
You're talking all-time here?
Or
just
at least
this
in
season?
recent history.
Okay.
2019, Tua Tagovailoa, started quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. 2017, Baker Mayfield, starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 2012, Geno Smith, starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. And then 2004, Kyle Orton at Purdue, who had a long career in the NFL. That's some pretty darn heady company for Cam right now.
That's huge, and credit to Bill. That's why he's a legend. I mean, he went through the archives to really, and I've never read one of those press things, if I'm being honest with you, but I just think it shows the hard work that he's put in, and he's playing at an elite level. And I think we said it after the game, sometimes getting national attention, you got to come into the season with it. Well, he's really just jumped onto the scene really quickly, and it's a credit to his work ethic, his film study, and just him going in there and just making a bunch of corrections. And he's a great player. We always knew he had the talent. This was always the vision. And I know sometimes, Cougs fans, you got to see it all the way through. And what Cam has done is really put in the work, and it's been really impressive to see. And it's the decision-making. Of all those stats you mentioned, 0 interceptions. And that is what it takes to play quarterback at an elite level.
And obviously the Pac-12 is so deep in quarterback talent this year. Obviously, the returning Heisman Trophy winner, right? And Caleb Williams, you got Bo Nix, you got Michael Penix. Cam Rising hasn't been able to play that much for Utah so far. So it's almost like Cam gets lost in the shuffle, but everyone in Crimson and Gray knows how special of a guy he is.
Well, I think it's one of those things as, you're going through some of the summer hype and the media tours and the preseason stuff, and he's not getting mentioned, and you're just sitting on your hands and you're smiling. That's all we did, because I know what we had. I know what he was capable of doing, and I could see the synergy really building. Because there was a point, if someone asked me, when did you really start to see it? It was about practice 12 of spring ball. I think he went through a little bit of a struggling. We're changing some mechanics and drops, and then all of a sudden that second scrimmage, it was like boom, then exploded in the spring game. You saw it all fall, and then you're seeing it here this season. So a credit to all the work that he's put in, and it's been really fun to watch. Even for me, that Oregon State play right before the end of the half, the time was ticking down, and all of a sudden he's scrambling around. I'm like, what are you doing? What do you get that? A touchdown, So it's like all you could do is smile sometimes, and that's kind of what he brings to the game.
Yeah, and another guy that I think that has really taken such a giant leap from one year to the next is Jaden Hicks. And last year, obviously, we could see the talent showing through. He made a few freshman All-American teams, but this year, Coach, Jaden Hicks is playing like maybe the best strong safety in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really impressive to watch, and it's just a quick rise. And, I was actually even talking to Jaden this week, and I told him about this one play he made when he was a redshirt freshman in the bubble. He, spun around and intercepted the ball, and this is when he was just redshirting. I was like, this guy's going to be great. We always saw this. To do it this quickly has been really impressive. But it shows last year he was kind of bouncing around. Strong safety, free safety, doing a little bit of everything. Now that we've just planted him firmly at strong, he's just anchored down that position. He's learning how to be a leader within what he's doing, and he is a playmaker. And that's coverage. It's blitzing. Now, you got a chance to see that last week. He took off like a beeline and tackled that dude on the sideline. It's been fun to see him grow. And once again, he's still developing. He's still 21 years old. He's going to keep getting better. And these guys just have, just RJ talked about it, just that mentality to go out there and really want to compete. And I think that's what makes the whole group special. And Jaden's rise has been fun to watch.
And for a coach, I mean, that's what you want to see, right? When that light bulb flips on and all of a sudden they take it to another level. That's got to be so rewarding for you. I'm not talking just Jaden, but with any player.
And all these recruiting stories are very unique. And Jaden was one of those COVID players where he didn't play his senior year of high school. Wow. And maybe if he did, who knows if he's here, if I'm being quite honest. So we took him off the junior tape. He played corner. He was just kind of a cover guy. And we just projected just seeing him on what he could become. And he's far exceeded our expectations. And that's a credit to him.
All right, we've got to take one more break. We'll be back to wrap things up with Coach and maybe take a few more of your questions. This is the Cougar Football Hour. You're listening to Washington State Football from Learfield.
Saturdays are made for football. And when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Do you ever pay attention to overhead power lines? If you're like most people, you don't, but you should. Especially when you're working up on a roof or carrying a ladder outdoors. Kids who climb trees and fly kites and adults with drones need to watch out for power lines too. And on the off chance that you find a downed power line, stay at least 10 feet away and quickly call 911 and Avista. Always pay attention to power lines. It's your best line of defense. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through.
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
Getting blitz. Down he goes.
The speed.
40, there he goes. Down the sideline.
The best in college football.
Toward the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back in the end zone. 30, 20.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
This is Drew Bledsoe, and you're listening to Cougar Football.
Bledsoe calls his play, has the ball, throws a home run ball from the end zone to Bobo. Oh! Washington State!
On the Washington State Sports Network.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Want to earn some extra money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2023 to March 2024. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneSnow.com.
All right, welcome back to the Cougar Football Hour. We're in our final segment here now. Washington State University would like to thank Crimson and Gray for their continued support of Cougar Athletics. Head to www.bookstore.com to get the latest in Coug apparel. That's www.bkstr.com. So just take out all the vowels from bookstore, and then you got it there. All right, we got another question here for you, Coach, and this comes from Jennifer Delzer on Twitter. She's a loyal Coug fan. Would you rather play against the toughest offense or the toughest defense?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm a defensive guy by trade, so let's go playing against the toughest defense. You know, that's unique challenges. I think either way, you just want to play against the best, and I think that's the challenge that this team wants to take on each and every week. And fortunately or unfortunately, that's what the Pac-12 is this year. There's no resting, and any team can beat anybody at any time. And we're going to need to be our best on Saturday to go out there and get the win in LA.
All right, that game Saturday is a noon kick
I
at
love
the Rose
noon
Bowl.
Kicks. Let's go.
So let's talk about why you like it, because you're typically practicing in the mornings during the season.
Yeah, our guys are up at 6 a.m. every day. They wake up, they perform, they're ready to go. So high noon kick is perfect for the Cougs. We're going to be alert, ready to go. And, I'd fully trust the Cougs to be tailgating by then, to be fully in Coug game day form by high noon on Pacific Coast time. They'll be ready to go.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Oh,
That'll
heck
be
yeah,
an
it is.
Excuse for sure.
Yes.
Well, and then the other nice thing about that early kickoff is that you're able to get back sooner too, right?
There's nothing like a little bit of Saturday night recovery. Just a little bit of family time, a little bit of breath before you restart into the week and next week's homecoming. So I can't wait to see that crowd and what it's going to be out there at Giesa Field.
So you're a smart man to bring that up there, because I was going to go there next, and it's October 14th. It's with Arizona coming to town. It's a 4 o'clock kick, which I think Coug fans love. It's
right
not
in the
too
sweet
early,
spot.
Not too late, but it's not sold out yet. So a plea to Coug fans to pack that stadium.
Cougs will respond. I know they will. It's been amazing so far. Just feeling their energy at home has been amazing, and obviously storming the field and celebrating these wins with them. I don't know if we've ever felt more a part of the football program and the community and Cougs just being one together than we do right now.
I know your team will be ready on Saturday, but having the chance to improve to 5-0 and most importantly being 2-0 in the Pac-12, what would that mean to you and your program?
Yeah, just like I said, this isn't the final destination. It's another step in the journey. And we come out 1-0 and we stack a bunch of those 1-0s up, we can have a really special season.
All right, Coach, thanks for allowing me to
pleasure. Doing the heavy lifting right
here. Pinch hit for Matt Chasnow today. I want to tell everybody he will be back for the game on Saturday. He had a personal issue he had to take care of. And noon kickoff on Saturday. That means Grady Emerson and I will have the pregame for you starting at 10 a.m. It's going to be an early one for us, but like you said,
let's go.
We love it. Let's go. All right, that's the Cougar Football Hour. I'm Derek Deis saying, as always, good night and go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
You've been listening to the Cougar Football Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Tonight's show has been brought to you by U.S. Bank. Life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank. Member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zeppos, the home for the Cougar Coaches Show, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Washington State Sports Network.